Hey, what's up guys? Drew here over at RevHiker Outdoors, and got a video for you today that I've been wanting to do for a little bit, but it's taken me some time to get this put together. And it is my 2016 Ultralight backpacking kit. So I'm out in the woods today doing a little bit of walking. I'm going to get to a nice little spot where I can lay some stuff out and show you what I've got this year. I've got some big change ups, and let me just preface everything that I'm going to say with this. The way my schedule is, got some deer running down there. The way my schedule is, about as long as I can get out for is 3 days. So typical scenario would be like a Thursday. I'd get out there sometime in the afternoon. I'd have dinner on the trail. I'd hike in the afternoon, have dinner on the trail, have breakfast, lunch, and dinner the next day, and then breakfast and maybe lunch on the third day. So it's really 2 nights, 3 days, but not 3 full days. Some guys have the opportunity to get out a lot longer than that. It's about as long as my trips go, so I can plan accordingly. So as far as food storage, that's all I've got. I'm looking at about 6 meals, which is adequate for the size pack, or the pack is just big enough for that many meals. So anyway, let me get to a better spot, and we'll get into my gear for this year. Okay guys, so here is my loadout. Again, this is the Mountainsmith Daylight, and first off, I'm going to show you. Now, I just threw some stuff inside, but I want to show you the stuff that I carry in my pockets before I show any of the other stuff. One is my Sawyer Mini water filter. This stays in my pocket so I can quickly access it and just take a drink, whenever I need to. And the nice thing about it is it threads right onto both of my water bottles. And I've got the water bottles with a nozzle so that I can back flush this without having to carry the plunger. So this is normally on my person. I just threw it in here for the sake of walking out. But normally this would usually sit in my back pocket. So the Sawyer Mini is the first thing. And I also have the squeeze bag for it inside one of the pockets should I need it. Also on my person is my first aid kit. And if you guys saw my Altoids tin series, this first aid kit is in there. So this is the first aid kit I'm going to be carrying, and this will also be on me, not in my bag, because I want quick access, and if somehow I lose my bag, I still want my first aid. So that's that. I keep the first aid kit with me along with the filter, and also on me would be generally this knife, or if I'm doing something where I can build fires or would need a heavier knife, I would bring my Mora companion. But if I'm in an area where I can't make a fire anyway, like the High Peaks region of the Adirondacks, I'm just going to have, this is my Benchmade 940 Osborne, and that will be in my pocket as well. Now let's get into the pack. Now, it's hard to tell, but my gear comes up to about here, right about this line. So this whole top area is where my food normally sits. I set my food right in top, and you can see I've got about that deep for food and the whole width of the pack, or the whole depth of the pack. So anyway, actually before I get in the inside, let's do the outside. Got my water bottles in those pockets. I bring a couple of gear ties, and that's if I'm doing a section where I don't want to carry my trekking poles. I can just strap them easily. These are the trekking poles, the Lumi Outdoors. These break down nice and small. These actually slip right back here a lot of times when I'm walking. But if I want a little extra security, I can just gear tie them to the pack. And by the way, if you're curious about these poles, I do have a video on them as well. But these gear ties are great, super lightweight, super grippy, way easier than tying stuff. So these are great for just adding stuff to the outside of your pack, like the poles, if I'm not going to be using them for a section, because normally they get used more downhill than they do uphill. The other thing I've got on the outside here is my North Face. This is a binary wind jacket, which I waterproofed. It had a waterproofing on it anyway, but this is, more or less my rain gear. because I'm using a tarp poncho. So in really heavy rains, I would use the tarp poncho, but when I need to set up camp and stuff, this is only a few ounces. I think it's 3 ounces, or 2.6 or something like that. So this would just go on as I'm setting up camp, so I don't get all my stuff wet. And that just hangs on the outside with a little S-beaner there. Also, in this elastic and hanging on the outside is my down jacket. And this little bag is waterproof, so it'll beat up and everything, but this is that really cheap down jacket that you guys have seen me. It's like a 650 fill down, and I usually just kind of put that upside down. It'll be upside down right here, so it sheds the water a little better. And it's an old, this is a stuff sack for an old hammock that I had. So anyway, there's that stuff kind of hanging on the outside. The other stuff on the outside that you'll see is my sleeping pad. And you guys have seen this in other videos. I just have it tied on here with a little Canadian gem knot. Goes through these loops and then a loop in the back. And this is my Reflectix type sleeping pad. Works really well for summer and spring and most of the fall. I didn't want to put my To Go Systems pad on here because for the summertime it's really too thick, and in the prototype you can't change out the insulation level. On the one that is coming out, which I have seen, and it is awesome, there you will be able to change it up, so this pad could very well change. But for right now, for the sake of this video, I wanted it to be something accessible that everyone could grab. So this is my reflector, car windshield reflector, and I cut about 1.5 feet off the bottom of it because I just didn't need it to like be underneath my calves. So that shed a little weight, and also bought me some space as well. That extra 1.5 feet actually gave a decent amount of bulk. You might not think so, but there was definitely some bulk there. Let me just pull this up through the center. Let's get into this outside pocket. Don't keep much. This is the Sawyer Bag. This is the bag for the squeeze. Keep my 100% DEET bug spray in there, and I think that's about it in that outside pocket. I really don't keep much there. It's got a little thing for your keys, should you want to put your keys out there. Let's go into the main pocket. Right on top, this is my Ally Headlamp. I decided to go with a little extra weight for this and the bulk because I wanted the extra power, just in case, the extra lumens over my Princeton Tech fuel, which I still love and still may take, but I really do like this light. And I've actually got a Goal Zero solar charger coming in the mail, and that's part of the reason I chose this, because you can recharge it through a solar charger, which is pretty awesome. So but as for now, I don't have it. I don't know that I'll be carrying it, except for recharging my camera gear. And my camera gear is one thing that I don't cover in here. It's in a separate pack on the front. Let's see, got a little pocket inside here, and carry, this is my toilet paper. These are the Easy Towels. They're rayon, biodegradable, a lot better than carrying regular TP. So I do have a video, check that out. I'll try to put a link in there. I changed up my spork. I've got a Light My Fire titanium spork, and that's only because in the extreme colds the plastic ones can break, and I believe this is even lighter than the plastic version, and it's better for, you know, doing hot water and stuff like that. So anyway, titanium spork by Light My Fire. This is the straw for the Sawyer Mini. I'm going to put this stuff back as I go. Let's see what else. Now I'll dig into the main compartment here. Right on top is this is my Eno bug nest for my hammock. I wish I had a lighter version of this, and I wish I didn't have to carry it. But the fact of the matter is that in the Adirondacks in the summer, if you don't have these, you're gonna go nuts. I've tried doing it with a head net, and it worked for a little while, but I had a really bad experience with severe bugs last year, and so I went out and bought it. It's extra bulk, it's extra weight that I potentially could do without, but really in the long run, this sacrifice of weight is worth it for me. So anyway, next with that is my Eno Sub 7 hammock, and inside of this little stuff case is it's my Ridgeline and my suspension, everything's plugged in there, and I've done a bunch of videos on this, so you can check that stuff out if you want. But sub 7 hammock. I also carry a little Mountain Hardwear beanie for sleeping, because even in the summer it can get very chilly up in the Adirondacks. This is my cook kit. I'm not gonna like really go into this, but I will briefly show you what's in here. But I mean, there's whole videos on cook kits, but this year this is my cook kit. I've got my fuel in here. There's a 5-hour energy bottle. Got a striker. This is just more reliable than anything really, and it lights the sparks drop down into my alcohol stove very easily. You've seen this one before. I've got my little snuffer in here. I've got a windscreen made out of heavy duty foil. This folds out to be quite large, good windscreen. And then I've got, this is made by Ascend. These are available at Bass Pro. My little cooking one, fold out handles, nothing big here, just stainless steel. And then a little extra bowl in case I want to get fancy with my meals, or divvy them up if there's other people there. So that's that. You can see everything. I've kind of made it so that everything nests pretty nicely in there, and I don't have to worry about much. And then this is my old Escape Bivy baggie that I kind of keep it all in. Don't want that to fall. So there's that. And then the next two things are pretty much the rest of my gear. I only have 2 more things. This is my To-Go Systems Trifecta version 2, and you can check out the full video on that. But this is my sleeping bag. I'm also working on a way to make this a cocoon system, which is super exciting, because that might mean that I don't need to, this will work as an underquilt and an overquilt, so I might not have to bring my sleeping pad, except in very cold weather. So I am going to do a video on that. I'm really excited to show you that. And it works with the zipper kit that he puts out for the trifectas, so stay tuned for that. That's going to be really cool. And then the last thing is my tarp. So this would be my shelter and my rain gear. This is the To-Go Systems BOB poncho, and it's the Breathable Outdoor Basics is what that stands for. And I have done a video on this as well, so I'll try to put a link for all this stuff that I'm talking about. But that's really it, guys. I've got nothing else in here. I tried to go super minimalist this year. There goes my water bottle. And just keep everything as light and as tight as possible. And what I've been able to do is keep all of my gear down to, it weighs in at 7¼ pounds, so 7.25 is what all this stuff came down to. Now, I know some people are going to be asking individual weights on all these different things, and honestly, I'm not going to have them. I don't go through and weigh every single thing. I weigh everything when I'm done. So I get my full kit together, and then I go and I weigh the whole thing, because I'm not as concerned with every little piece of like gear weight. I just want to know my total numbers, so I can know what my total weight is, because to me it doesn't matter what the little things weigh. I just want to know what I've got on my back. Actually, no, it's not 7¼. That's right, I changed it, and it's about 7½ pounds. Excuse me. Let me just shove all this stuff back in here so I can show you this suspension system that I've got going on, which I think is pretty, for me it's pretty cool, because one of the only reasons that I left a lumbar pack and went to a backpack with my Marmot compressor, well, there was 2 reasons. One, I didn't quite have enough space in this before, and 2, if I had to load it down, it would start to bounce, and that really bothered me. So I've solved that with this here. Now, I had some really old junky, like Sierra Designs Camelback knockoff, all right? And so what I did is I just cut the shoulder straps off of it. You can see there's the High Sierra, not Sierra Designs, the High Sierra logo there. I cut it off. I took some junky old thread. I stitched this up here. And then the little loop that you would hang the pack off of, I just kind of threaded it down through here, and when this is up on your back, This main strap is just on by one of these carabiners, one of the Night Eyes. And then this pack comes with a shoulder strap. So I took the clips off of the shoulder strap and I just threaded it through the clips, or excuse me, the straps from the High Sierra pack, and just used the same exact buckles, so everything's the same. And then when you put this on, it stops all the bounce. Now on the bigger versions of this Mountainsmith, you can get, they're called the strapettes. They don't fit this because the attachment is different size buckles, and they don't have the clips on the side. So I just made my own. This pulls up on the center, and then these pull on the side, and it makes such a huge difference when you're hiking. It's actually, it actually blew me away how much better the bounce factor was with this pack. And after I made this design, after I kind of fabricated this little junky thing, that's what kind of put me over the edge to want to compact everything down to be able to fit in this. Now, like I said, you're not going to get, you know, a week and a half's worth of food in here. You're just not going to do it. But I think for a lot of hikers who are like me, you're going to get out for the weekend or possibly a long weekend, and you can get enough food in this thing for a long weekend. Now, you could choose to use a different pack, and actually if I went with the pack on my back, my Marmot compressor, I'd actually save some weight, because that thing only weighs like 8 ounces the way I've got it trimmed down. So I'd actually be carrying less. However, if you've ever hiked with a lumbar pack and you've experienced not having all this heat trapped in your back from having a backpack, it's amazing. I hike so much cooler with this because your back can just breathe the whole time. I don't care what kind of ventilation system your pack has, or if it's got a curved frame that gives you a little air gap. Hiking with a lumbar pack is so much better as far as coolness and not having a totally drenched back every time you get into camp and going to sleep with a drenched back. Oh, one thing I did forget to say, I do bring an extra pair of socks. I neglected to throw them in here for the video. But I do put in extra socks for sleeping in case my socks get all wet or whatever. So I did want to mention that. But as far as extra clothes, I don't bring any. I literally just sleep with whatever I hike in, and I normally have the zip-off type pants, and I'll just stuff the pant legs down in the pocket with the water bottle and kind of go from there, and everything works out pretty well for me. So anyway, there's that. You can see I've got some room for food here. This comes up, so kind of got all this room in the top for food. And again, the way I pack and eat, I'll have some snacks on me. There is room in this outer pocket for more snacks, so I do stuff some food down in there, and my main meals would be here, snacks would be here, and I usually have some snacks in my pocket as well, just to so I can quickly grab them as I'm walking, because generally speaking, that's how I eat my lunch. I just eat my lunch as I'm walking. Anyway, guys, if you do have any questions about this, go ahead and throw those questions down in the comment section below. If you want me to make a detailed video about how I made this kind of strapette kit for my daylight, go ahead and request that, and if enough people want me to do it, I'll make a video about that. But this is my 2016 Ultralight backpacking kit. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching as always, and if you did enjoy this video, don't forget to thumbs up and subscribe. God bless you guys as always, and I will catch you next time.